Hey Virgo, welcome to Starchaeology Tarot. This is my channel. I am Desi. I'm so honored and privileged and happy out of my mind to get to read your cards for this February 2022 tarot reading. This sanitation truck is equally psyched. This is good for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Almost dropped all the cards. Definitely encourage you to watch your other placements for a more complete picture of the unique, complex puzzle that you are. What resonates is what is meant for you. What doesn't is meant for someone else, so don't take that personally. And I'm going to take a moment and call in spirit, call in your guides, your masters. And because energy travels through space and time effortlessly, they know that you would be here at this exact moment that you are. You are an intended part of this collective reading, an intended chosen member. What are the messages for Virgo for the month of February? What are the divine messages for the month of Virgo? Not the month of Virgo. For Virgo, for the month of February, what are the divine messages? Three of Swords, Virgo, what's going on? Six of Cups. Judgment. Virgo. Wow. So Virgo, you are facing some real heartbreak this month. Maybe I'm catching you in that as you found this reading. I'm so glad that you found it, and I hope that this gives you some support when you need it most. Some of you are facing some real heartbreak. You're facing some sorrow, some pain. Some of you are facing betrayal. I'm really sorry that you're going through that. And wow. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of downloads right now as I'm reflecting on this. So much of this heartbreak is about something that happened to you in the past. So while some of you are experiencing something in your present moment, like a catalyst in your present moment, it's really your past that is the obstacle here. It's like it's making moving through some sort of loss or pain or grief impossible to move through, because something in the past is rearing its head, that is impeding how you process something in the present moment. Grief is natural. I'll just say that. Pain is natural. There's a natural process to that. Sometimes we get stuck in a pain or grief cycle pattern when we are really attached to something in the past, when we haven't accepted something, forgiven something in the past, which then allows us to let go of the past. Otherwise, the past kind of has a death grip on our present and our future always. It's like we can't live our present or future without being negatively impacted by the past. And I think a lot of people think like, duh, like I experienced something in the past, of course it's going to affect my present and my future. You're right, that's extremely common and quite normal. But it doesn't have to be that way. And I think we see that constantly in so many examples of people having human experiences where they are able to overcome incredible odds, or they're able to achieve things beyond, that kind of like seems impossible to do because they have everything against them that would keep them from that. Or we see people use pain, heartbreak, sorrow in the past to somehow empower them in the future. It doesn't make them smaller. Instead, it makes them more universal. It broadens their world. It deepens them. And that really is the choice we always have with every painful thing that happens to us. Do I allow this to make me smaller, or do I allow it to make me bigger? When we react instead of acting consciously, it's so much easier to allow that event to make us smaller, to allow that event to imprison us, to restrict us, to limit us. It takes conscious effort to allow it to expand us. But there's that opportunity of expansion in every instance of heartbreak, truly every one. There is always opportunity. It's like, I just recently learned that the word, and please correct me if anyone knows this and I'm getting it wrong, but I think I got it. The Chinese character for crisis, or the Chinese word for crisis, is made up of two Chinese characters, one that means danger and one that means opportunity. And I think about that, any crisis that you had in your past, any dark night of the soul, it's like, wow, there are two sides to that coin. Being completely forever wounded by that danger, living as though the danger is ever present, versus like capitalizing on that opportunity. So what I'm seeing for you, Virgo, is there's something, I think for some of you, it's not something that is happening this month that is causing the grief and pain, but rather you're dealing with the grief and pain, and what is the obstacle in it is the past. It's almost like it doesn't even exist in your present moment right now. It's coming up because it's unhealed. It's coming up because you are very easily triggered by a lot of things in your present moment that are not in and of themselves painful, or at least as painful as you are taking them to be. But it's by seeing things through the eyes of your past self that distorts your present moment. Now, what's the advice here? I mean, we have the Judgment card, literally as the advice. I mean, it's easier said than done, of course, when the advice is to let go. Like when the advice is to let go of the past, like accept things in the past. I like the Judgment card because it does give us some clues, though, about how to do that, how to let go of the past. How do you let go of the past? When we are super attached to the past, it's usually because there is something that we haven't forgiven. And another way of saying that is there's something that we haven't accepted. It's almost like our heads and our hearts refuse to accept it. So we can't forgive it. We can't forgive ourselves in something that we did. We can't forgive someone else. We're holding this grudge or this attachment in some way. Like we're using the attachment maybe to define us, like to define who we are. We feel so defined by it. And that all is rooted in a complete resistance to acceptance. It's like literally not accepting something that unequivocally happened. Like, there's a part of us that still feels like if we think about it enough or we feel about it enough, we can change it. So we refuse to accept it because it's like, if I obsess over it enough, it will somehow magically change. And that is what's at the root of all non-acceptance. That's what's at the root of all non-forgiveness. Whereas if we are able to accept, if we're able to just be like, that's what happened, it is what it is, how do I reframe this in a way that allows me to move past it? And the way we do that is always starts with seeing everything more graciously. Whether it means seeing ourselves with more grace, more gentleness, more kindness, more love and understanding, or seeing someone else with more grace, love, kindness, gentleness, understanding. That's the first step to letting go and accepting and forgiving anything, is by seeing it through a lens of love, which then allows us usually to judge it more appropriately, more truthfully. So this is about judging your past in a way that actually supports your present moment and supports your future, not holds your present moment and future hostage. You can always choose to do that if that's honestly what you want to do. If you want to hold your present moment and your future hostage and you want to continue suffering. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we want to suffer for a certain amount of time. Like, we need to suffer until we realize we don't have to suffer anymore. That's from Eckhart Tolle. I did not make that up, but Stillness Speaks. Read it. But if we're able to judge something in a way that actually strengthens us, everybody wins. Like, the person who benefits most is you and your life and your present moment and your future. You liberate your present moment, you liberate your future. Suddenly your world opens up to so many more potentials and possibilities and things that actually fulfill you and help you grow and again expand into a bigger person. You know, it's that difference again, it's that choice of allowing pain to make you bigger or allowing it to make you smaller. So you're dealing with a lot, Virgo, this month, and you know, this is such important and sacred inner work that you're doing. So I do want to just add another piece of advice, which is just to be incredibly kind to yourself while you are unraveling things in your past and looking at them and consciously choosing to reframe things, because it is not easy, and you'll find your brain continuing to return to old patterns, old lenses that are likely unkind to either yourself or to someone else. And this is all, you know, survival mechanisms of our ego. Completely normal to do. So don't beat yourself up for that. Really approach this process with a lot of care and grace and forgiveness, you know, as you move through it, while you're also trying to find and cultivate that forgiveness for things that are done, long gone. I hope this was helpful. I would love to hear how this looks specifically for you in your life, so comment below if you want to open up and connect with me. It's really, there's nothing I love more than connecting with you. If you got something of value out of this reading, please consider giving back if you're able to. There's a link below to my Patreon, and you can support this work and help me actually make it better. Help me help you better. by supporting me with just a few dollars a month, the cost of a drink per month. There's also lots of goodies and bonuses over there on Patreon, including personal monthly readings, discounted if that's something that interests you, so check that out. If you're unable to support in that way, please, please, please like and subscribe and share this. Share it on your social media. Send this channel to people in your life that you feel need some extra support right now, or who are really invested in self-growth, or witchy magic. Hopefully they'll get something out of it. And with that, Virgo, I am rooting for you as always. I love you very much, and I'll see you next time.